Township Council for Thursday, October 11th. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public and the press on January 5th, 2018, and was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-7.
Roll call.
Councilmember Ooms.
Here.
Councilmember Kadish is not present. Councilmember Van Tassel.
Here.
Councilmember Allberger.
Here.
Council President Murphy.
Here. Please rise to salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm sorry, Councilmember Owens, would you like to read the proclamation?
Sure.
Is this it?
Yes.
I'm sure I have a copy. I think I do.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, I do have a copy. Thank you. Okay. Proclamation. Whereas breast cancer is a serious threat to women's health across New Jersey and the nation, and whereas increased public awareness of this disease, its risk factors, and its symptoms may save lives as women across New Jersey learn to recognize the warning signs of breast cancer. And whereas breast cancer is treatable when detected early, and prompt treatment can significantly reduce the suffering and deaths caused by this disease. And whereas the Sussex County Chronic Disease Coalition and Project Self-Sufficiency are organizations partnering to promote breast cancer awareness during the month of October through the Susan G. Komen's annual Tie a Pink Ribbon campaign. And whereas pink ribbons have become an increasingly recognized sign of courage, support, and hope for a cure. Now and therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Vernon that the month of October shall be proclaimed Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Vernon, and the displaying of pink ribbons during the month of October is a wonderful way to encourage citizens to stand together against this disease. October 2018 Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Vernon Township. Signed by Harry Shortway and Jean Murphy.
Thank you. Next, may I have a motion to open to public session?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please note, this public session is for agenda items only, so limit your comments to 3 minutes. If there's anyone that has any comments on agenda items, please step forward. Seeing no one, may I have a motion to close public?
Motion.
May I have a first and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have the regular meeting minutes of September 24th, 2018, and the executive session minutes of September 24th, 2018. May I have a motion to adopt the regular and executive session? May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Ooms.
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Councilmember Allberger.
Yes.
Council President Murphy.
Yes.
Here to adopt minutes.
Okay. On to the consent agenda. Are there any resolutions that need to be pulled out? None? Okay. First resolution is 18216, awarding a required disclosure contract to Air Group LLC for comprehensive preventive maintenance to the chillers and HVAC systems located in the Vernon Township Municipal Building and DPW Building. Resolution 18217, authorizing procurement of a roll-off vehicle under NJSA 40A:11-53. Resolution 18218, refund overpayment due to State Tax Court Judge Coster Family Trust. Block 12706, Lot 1. Resolution 18219, resolution authorizing the option for employees of the Township of Vernon to waive health insurance benefits. The CFO has analyzed the cost of insurance to determine the township will save funds by permitting waivers for certain qualifying employees. Resolution 18220, authorizing the mayor to continue the incentive to employees who enroll in an alternative health or prescription plan. This authorizes the continuation of the OMNIA plan, which achieves a cost savings to the township. Resolution 18221, authorizing a change order number 1 of contract for construction of water service lines to the municipal and DPW building with Your Way Construction. Resolution 18-222, authorizing to endorse a treatment works approval application to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for construction of an on-site wastewater treatment and disposal system alteration at someplace special located at 2 Vernon Crossing, Block 141, Lot 1. Resolution 18-223, authorizing a change order, number 1, of goods and services for 2 garage doors for DPW building from durable doors, garage, and overhead doors. Resolution 18-224, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Lake Pochung Road Improvement Project. May I have a motion to adopt resolutions 18-216 to 18-224?
Motion.
May I have a second? Is there any discussion? Roll call?
Councilmember Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Councilmember Allberger?
Yes.
Council President Murphy?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the consent agenda.
We have no first readings of ordinances. We do have a second reading of an ordinance, Ordinance 1827, an ordinance of the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of property owned by the township and not required for public purposes, and more commonly known as Herald Square, 114 Route 94, Block 232, Lot 12. This authorizes the public auction of the property known as Herald Square for November 8th, 2018. May I have a motion to open to a public hearing for Ordinance 1827? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there anyone from the public that would like to step up and address this ordinance? Seeing no one, may I have a motion to close to public?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt Ordinance 1827?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Councilmember Allberger?
Yes.
Council President Murphy?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt ordinance 8, public, public auction to be held November 8th, 2018.
Thank you. We move on to our second public session, which is limited to 3 minutes on any topic. Please note, if the public could just step up one at a time. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there anyone from the public that would like to step up, have comments? Please state your name.
Hi, Audrey Falgaris, President Lake Panorama Community Association. I assume you all received my letter?
Yes.
Yes, and had a chance to read it? Okay, so the discussions in the letter, I just want put on record that this is what has been going on, and I would like to confirm that the fines will be removed, the fines that we just found out about, and also any penalties will be removed.
I don't believe that the Township Council has the authority. I defer to the Township Attorney. These are fines that are levied through the zoning officer and building department and have not been adjudicated.
Well, the business administrator received a letter, I mean, it was addressed to him, so I believe those are his employees, am I correct?
They're township employees.
Well, but you would be in charge of them.
I
Code
oversee it.
enforcement
I
responsible
supervise.
state.
So,
The zoning officer issued the fines.
The council doesn't have the authority to waive fines. That will have to be handled when the fines are adjudicated. So that's, the council cannot waive the fines.
okay, and I would like to know if any of you, since we were here a year ago regarding this, and, you know, we explained the circumstances, have any of you seen the survey that was done?
Yes.
Jean, you have? Anyone else?
Yes.
Would you like to see the survey that was done?
Sure. You could send it.
It was emailed to us.
Because I
No, it
didn't,
might
I
have
didn't
just been-
want to see how much postage
I
I
just
could
asked
put on
Lauren
these
to email it
letters.
to everybody yesterday, probably.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
I didn't see my email yet, so they could email it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'll show it to you anyway.
Could you please just give that to the clerk, and then this way, we just try not to have members of the public come up to the council, just.
Have you seen it?
Yes, somebody filed an Oprah request for it.
So the wall in that
Make sure-
survey
just pass it down this way,
sits
Lou.
in the center of the road. Had the road been put inside the embankment. But the road's not there, obviously, like many township roads, especially like community roads. So the biggest problem with the wall, aside from the fact that there was not the proper paperwork filed, is that we were told it's a liability, that somebody's going to crash into it. And as it said in my letter, the wall is on an uphill coming into the lake. The wall's obscured from Panorama Drive coming down. You can't even see the wall. And from Winding Hill coming down, the wall sits behind 2 telephone poles. So in the event someone should crash into that wall, they're obviously either trying to kill themselves or doing something really, really stupid. So I also mentioned in my letter that we felt a little bit of selective enforcement going on here, because we know that there are plenty of other walls in the township that are within 10 feet of the township's right-of-way. And I will just happen to mention one of them, Maple Grange, on the hairpin curve, that was just hit last week, again. So a motorcycle comes around that bend and doesn't have the ability to corner properly and hits that, the motorcyclist is going to die. A car is going to take down the stone, and maybe they're not going to die, but so that we're going to be held liable and we're holding the township liable because of this wall is just a little bit extreme. So anyway, with that, I will end, because I'm sure I passed my 3 minutes. And I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything, but that's all I got for you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to step forward and make some comments? On any issue, yes. This is open for any, yeah.
All right, for the record, I'm Patrick DeStassi. I live at 4 Silver Spruce Drive in Vernon. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I come tonight with very, very, very serious issues on top of the issues that we are addressing on 3 Silver Spruce Drive. The people, there are 3 deeds plus my family's deed. That's 4. They all have small children, loads of them. And the 2 live at the top, and 1 lives on the first right on your left, on your right coming in. They are living in fear. They are living in fear. Chuck, they've already endured for years the trucking, smell, the sounds, to an end which many people are working on to figure out. During that time, and as you know, I've been chasing this down since 2009. A minimum of 3,000 trucks have gone on to tandems, full, onto a small road that had 100 feet of pavement from when it was built, 1974, in the subdivision, and then oil and stone that we put in. It's demolished. And the sides are demolished. Furthermore, the owner I assume he still owns that, on 3 Silver Spruce Drive, has very large equipment on his property. That's a pretty well-known fact. And he takes these machines over the years, and very clandestine, I might add, because nobody's there all the time, and decides to dig out a drainage pipe that was mandated on the original subdivision by the Sussex County engineer to take all the runoff off the steeps of this road into a concrete catch, and a 6- and 10-inch pipe run for about another 150 to 200 feet They enter onto 565 and then it goes into a catch basin. I have watched this effectively work forever. We're the oldest ones there. In fact, when we redid the road back in 1983, we made a clear point not to get in the way of this drain. Because if this gets clogged, icing will go 100 feet one way and 150 feet the other way. You will not be able to drive it, walk it. A danger.
So just for clarification, did you say that was just installed or had been?
I'm sorry?
Was that pipe just installed?
That was...
It's from back from 83.
No, the drain pipe was installed with the drain from the original subdivision of those lots in 1974,
Okay.
mandated by the Sussex County engineer. And I have all the documents. Now, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, well, first of all, I couldn't figure out why Mr. Wallace would take it upon himself to dig out this pipe. Maybe it was crushed from the trucks going over it, because the road has now widened into marsh, so that trucks exiting after dumping on 3 and trucks coming to dump on 3 now have enough room to pass each other. There's been a marsh created for about 2,100 feet. 2 days ago, I heard an altercation, people screaming at each other. Saw some police vehicles. And by the time I got down there, Mr. Wallace, who was using atrocious language to a neighbor, a 4'10" woman, single mom, who lives on 2 Silver Spruce Drive across from him. And I went down there and I talked to her. I said, what's going on? And what had happened was there were 4 trucks, one dumping, one trying to leave, one in the way of another neighbor trying to pick up a kid on the corner, huh? And one dump truck caught and sank in the mud where this drain and all its piping used to be. So why would he dig all this up and over the years, and I have no idea. But I can tell you this, he's got an excavator over there. I've seen him use it. He could dig 25, 30 feet. I can prove it. There's been standing water there for about a year. For about a year. And now, what's dangerous is that I believe 3 or 4 tandems, this film of this, were backed up to this now sinkhole, marsh area, dumping debris, which is illegal debris, as per DEP, from God knows where, from bricks to blocks to God knows what else, into this sinkhole to try to get a bottom on it. It covers an area of about 70 by 100. Let's call it 100 by 100. And that 100 is in the right-of-way and on the road. You can't pass over this. It's not stable. It's not stable. I mean, how deep do you think it has to be to lose 4, 6, 10, 12 illegal dumpings to try to find bottom? And now, on the way over here, my wife and I stopped, I got out, she got out, and we sensed a foul smell coming from the dump area, parked right on top of it. Don't know what went in it other than the visuals, don't know where they came from, don't know what they're comprised of. It wouldn't be a reach to suggest that it's the same material that's been dumped on the backside of this property for years and years and years, Mark. So, what do we have? Right now, we have a clear and present real danger. Children can't walk on it. These families are afraid to have their children walk out in the street because of two things, three things. The trucks, which I know everybody is working very hard on, including myself and my wife, but we will not relent. Two, this machinery that Mr. Wallace continues to bring on the road because in his mind he thinks it's his road, and start making all kinds of alterations. And he does it clandestinely. People work. I'm not there all the time. So in essence, all they get to see is a result. They work. This event probably is the serious event to date, and we've been there 30 years, of this, this terrible, terrible idea that I'm just going to get on my machines and I'm going to make the road wider, Chuck, and I'm going to rip out this drain pipe and now create a sinkhole, a marsh emitting very foul smells. I would ask this board to have someone from the county health department there tomorrow.
I'll make the call first thing.
Thank you, Chuck. We have another problem. This road, and Joshua can attest to it, is not really owned by anybody. It's a right-of-way. Nobody owns it. But each deed simply says, the 5 deeds, they're all the same, that each property owner has a 20% interest in the road for maintenance. For maintenance. For maintenance. We've been fighting forever to try to keep that road from going into disrepair. We're fighting a losing battle. The road's been destroyed. And now we've got this other issue, which is very, very dangerous because, as you know, I was in the land development business and I was in the building business. And I can tell you that there's no bottom after what he's done there. No bottom. In fact, on our way here, right before we came, I heard a truck coming up. Going to make another dump on there. Along with that, he's taken the front of his property and excavated to a point where it's now half the road on a slope, 50 feet on the road. You cannot get vehicles through there safely. How are people going to drive in and out of this with their cars like this? Like this? When I speak of, this really hits home to me because before I got here, I had a 45-minute meeting with one of my neighbors. They found me. And when they told me that their wives were terrified, their children were terrified, seeing what they see, hearing what they hear, this is a road, a community that needs help. It needs help. So I'm here tonight to ask you to put an emergency plan in place temporarily, perhaps without dates, to do two things, Chuck. The first thing is that we need to be able to find out we know what's being dumped in this newfound sinkhole created by Mr. Wallace. And the second thing we need to do is excavate out where the boundaries are for the road. I mean, hell, at the end of my driveway, I got 6 feet of road. There is an 8-foot of road in this area I'm telling you about down by the marsh. And they live under a threat. They live under a threat. They've seen the altercations. They've heard about altercations. They know how many court hearings are coming up. This is just not right. It's not right, Chuck. I have never came to Vernon Township for anything. But a temporary takeover of our road for safety reasons, treating it as a public road, a public domain, where rules apply about machineries and things happening that are not allowed. I mean, how are we to survive here with one individual making a decision to destroy a road, and if we did repair it, it just happened all over again? It's my understanding on a public domain, correct me if I'm wrong, Joshua, that you can't run large Caterpillar dozers on the road. Am I wrong?
On a public road, I don't think you can.
I don't think so either. Or backhoes. Or God knows what else is being used.
Is that considered public?
I believe an emergency measure is in order for us, with you, to...
President, we've way exceeded
I know,
time
I
limit
know,
on
I know.
this issue.
I'll wrap now. I'm willing to sit down with anybody at any time. I have a small plan driven. Like I said, it doesn't have to be permanent. Doesn't need a majority vote. Doesn't need anything. But why, now that you see new facts and new things happening, we can't risk any more potential danger to children, housewives, husbands? And the only piece you're going to get, Joshua, is that if you take over this road on a temporary basis using the same rules and articles and zoning and all the roads on this, that are public in this state, in this county, in your town, our town, apply to this. It could be cleaned up, and now it can be enforced, Chuck. The trucks are still going to run until that comes to a conclusion. But this sub-item is clear and present and right now. And I'll meet with anybody at any time with my small plan. I thank you for the extended time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public? Yep.
Thank you. Mary?
Good evening. Chuck, I'm Anthony Anari.
Anthony?
Introduce myself. We spoke on the phone.
Yes, we did.
Pleasure to meet you finally. I just need a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. I'm Anthony Anari. I feel that I'm the recording secretary of Lake Panorama. I feel that I have to embellish a little bit on what our president had said because there's a little bit more of a history involved. First of all, maybe 16 or 18 months ago, Danny met the mayor. I'm disappointed that the mayor's not here right now. He could reiterate the story. But Danny met the mayor over a problem we had at our lake. The water and our sand was eroding. A piece of property, the main road, is owned by the municipality. It was caving into our playground. The mayor came up. He said he was going to bring the architect up. I don't know if the architect ever came up, but there was an $85,000 or a $90,000 number thrown at us, and he said he was going to speak on it. A few months went on. The election went by. Change of government, and when Danny spoke to the mayor said, well, the council voted my money down, so we don't do anything for you. Okay, fine. So here we got a problem. We got a damaged playground where our children, 300 families, cannot play in. So we fixed the wall. We spent $7,000 on the wall. Nobody complains about the wall. We fixed the wall. Problem solved, again, by Lake Panorama. No big deal. So when we decided to put a new sign up, because the other one was decrepit and falling apart and in disrepair, we decided that we were going to put it in the front where there was a tree and a guard stand prior. So we tried to find the owner. I had reiterated this once before. We tried to find the owner to no avail. We didn't know. Unbeknownst to us, the township owned the property for 6 years prior. Okay, so one of our building maintenance gentlemen, Thomas Malero, he'll come up and reiterate the same story. He called the municipal zoning and construction code officials, and they said as long as it's under 4 feet, we don't really care where it goes or whatever. Now, that's Tommy and her. I don't know for sure. I'm just paraphrasing. Okay? So, fine. We can't find the owner. They owe us money. No problem. The road's at the end. We put up the wall. The wall's 4 feet. We get a call. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are today. We have an illegal wall that is sitting on our beach that nobody cares about because we fixed public property, and all of a sudden we put a wall up to beautify the front of our lake community. There's a big problem. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong. I know we did something that wasn't deemed proper, but you know what? Nobody's going to hit that wall. And when the township engineer was sent to the place, he wanted us to move it 3 feet. 3 feet. He said everything would be fine if we moved it 3 feet. How is 3 feet? Can I give this to you so you can show? Mm-hmm. There's a picture on the back of the wall and the engineer's rendition, Mr. Stoner. As far as I'm concerned, my 6-year-old could draw a better picture than my 6-year-old grandson. I don't get that that's a township engineer. I don't get it. What we have here is 3 feet that they want.
Excuse me. If you have a comment, please step up after Mr. Inari's done.
What we have here is 3 feet. There's a drain that we uncovered that was there, put there maybe a decade ago. Okay? We cleared the drain out. Mr. Babcock came up and said that the snow they're going to put the snow there and it's going to damage the wall and then it's going to subsequently be ice. Let me tell you about the Lake Panorama main road. The main road is cared by a gentleman sitting right there, John Kosh, because the township, and you can ask him, and I don't want to bring him into it, but the township has failed to clean that road numerous times where the bus company has called us, the police have called us, and you can get this from the police, and they told us, well, you guys better do it because they're not going to get there. And Mr. Kosh, who we pay as a private contractor, does that road. So what is the problem? 3 feet. The road is with ice. That's the problem. We salt and sand. We take care of that. I don't see a problem there. The buses can't come up. Mr. Kosh comes up in 30 seconds, does the job for the township, and we get 65% of our total 100% reimbursement because we don't meet mile to mile. But that's another story. What we're here for is this 3 feet of a wall. We were so close to a vote last November. Mr. Van Tassel, Mr. Orberger, you were sitting on the dais. You weren't able to vote. You were here when I was here. We spoke. We were close to it. The mayor was not present, and I don't know if you were the lawyer or not. I'm sorry. Forgive me if you aren't, or if you are. But you told them to postpone the vote until January, when there was a change of council. So, as it may be, here we are with 3 feet. We were issued a stop work order in October. The wall was finished. We did not do anything. We did not fix that wall. We did not touch that wall past that. We did not touch it. We were told several weeks ago that there's a $1,000 a week fine. A $1,000 a week fine. We never even got an ordinance number or a construction code violation in the mail. So how are we supposed to know how much money has been accumulated or if there is any at all? That's all I want to know. We asked to be on the agenda. Mr. Volker can tell you that. I called him personally, and I spoke to Council President on it too. You do not meet on agendas with private communities. I understand that. We were just asking to get on because we have a problem here. We want to solve it. Our board and our residents, we are an isolated community in Vernon. Everything we do, we've done by ourselves. We don't ask for much. We put a wall that's got more sight distance than a landing pad in Teterboro. And we can't keep it up. What is the problem? That's all I want to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How you doing, all? Sorry for my little joke there before. I'm Tom Malero, the project manager at Lake Panorama. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of specifics here. I'm just going to tell you how disappointed I am in our township here. 21 years old, I decided to buy my first house in Lake Panorama. I've been there for 12 years now. We tried doing an improvement to the community. We had a safety issue at the entrance of our lake where that drain at the bottom of the hill, which we uncovered and repaired at our own expense, was clogging every time we had debris come into the road. We had icing issues. We had numerous issues at the intersection of our lake. We corrected it. Yes, we put up the wall. It's under the 4-foot restriction, except, we find out afterwards there's a wall in series thing that the township surprised us with, which the township didn't know about at the time of when I was asking about the specific wall itself. I'm disappointed the mayor's not here. The mayor has been pretty involved in this process. He saw us. And I don't want to say he left because he saw us.
No, just to make it clear to the public, this is actually a council meeting.
I'm with you.
So mayor does attend at times, but they're not required.
Oh, I completely understand. I appreciate you
and
defending the mayor.
he was here earlier, and I can assure you, we had an executive session today. We had one yesterday, but there were other reasons that he left, not because he saw anybody.
Sure, coincidence. So I'm disappointed in what's going on here. Again, the folk, Tommy Stoner, what's his name? Mr. Stoner, wrote us this. He wants to move the sign back 3 feet. He's a construction engineer. He has nothing to do with safety. To tell us the wall's not safe or it's going to kill somebody is an absolute joke. He can't make that decision. And to be honest with you, we take the wall down right now. What happens to the debris and the rock and everything that's farther up in the hill? With all the torrential rain we've had recently, I can't tell you we're not going to have a mudslide or some kind of issue. That's going to be a safety thing. So what we're looking from you folks is we want a complete release of liability if we take this wall down. Because now it's an issue. If I take the wall down, now you're going to come after me and tell me that we have a possible landslide issue or some kind of retention issue. So we need some kind of clarity here. We've already voted to take the wall down, just so you guys know. We've already talked to a contractor, but I'm not willing to take that wall down until you guys tell me I'm allowed to, and that we're going to be released from liability. Okay?
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to come up?
Peg DeStassi from Silver Spruce. I just wanted to add a woman's point of view and a mother's point of view onto what my husband has said. Joe Wallace and his trucks obey no speed limit on our road. Joe will pull out of his driveway and show us the dust of his wheels. We'll do 40, 50 miles an hour to get to the end, and then you hear him squealing his brakes on. We have kids walking to the school bus with this going on. You never know what time he's going to do this, because if anybody drives on our road for the slight, even the FedEx man, he's out there to watch and see where they're going and what they're doing. He sits shotgun on our road and watches every move all of us make. The trucks obey. My husband said yesterday, there were 4 trucks sitting on our road 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. The woman who lives at the top of our hill, I'm not going to use her name, had come down to get her children from the school bus because she won't let them walk any longer because they're grammar school kids. Could not, 20 minutes, he kept her waiting because he would not move those trucks out of the way so she could get through. He made her sit there for 20 minutes, which is ridiculous. Anyway, the speed limit would be not a problem if that road were under some kind of public authority. Then we could post a speed limit and control the speeding. The other thing is that when the children are walking up the road, they're now going to have to wear hip boots because I could show you pictures we took at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The water is all over. It is 15 foot wider than the road on both sides and at least 70 feet this way on each side. There is no way the children that do walk will be able to walk through this mud, which is knee deep. So we need to have protection for our children, which is what I've been saying all along. Our children are in jeopardy here because of the speeding, the truck traffic, and now we have this issue of this contaminated water. It just sits there. It's muddy. It's disgusting. It smells foul, and it's just stagnated water laying there on top of the road, and it never goes away. And by the way, last winter, that froze over, and we had a horrible time trying to get up our road because there's a slight hill there. And this is all the water that comes down the hill and settles at the bottom of that hill. That was all frozen. All winter, we were skidding all over. If you were coming down this way to come down around the bend, you were taking your life in your hands that you're not going to skid off into either side of the road because it was all frozen. And that was all because he removed the drain. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public? Seeing no one else, may I have a motion to close to public?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Volker, did the mayor have a report at all? No report? Excuse me. Before we just go to council comments, just wanted to let you know that our municipal attorney will be speaking to the mayor and drafting a letter in response to Lake Panorama regarding the issues. Because it, like I said, it ends up to a lot. I mean, I've been up there. I know what it looks like. I've been a realtor in town since 1992. I know what the roads look like all over town. As far as, like I said, does the wall look nice? Yes. But we end up having to follow what we're directed to do and what we can do within the law. So I don't know if any other council members have any comment on any of these. I mean, as far as they're both big issues. I'd say Silver Spruce, where everyone is aware with that. And as you know, court was delayed again, so which we should be getting another date soon because if we could just get back, if we could get in front of a judge, but for some reason they keep delaying, they keep postponing the court dates, and we don't really have an answer as to why, and it's certainly not the township's doing of so. But do any council members have any comments, any questions on any of the Lake Panorama wall?
Not right now. I'm reviewing it.
So, council comments? Councilmember Ohms?
No comments right now.
Councilmember
No comment.
No comment.
No comment. Gee, I guess I have no comment either. So at that point, motion to adjourn. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.